Section 4.6 Newton's method. Okay, where we need Newton's method. Let's say you have a situation like this. You would like to find out the square root of 5, the value of square root of 5. What is that? We know for sure the value of square root of 4 is 2, and then value of square root of 9 is 3. But to find the value of square root of 5 without using calculator, we don't know how to approximate. We know it's in between 2 and 3, but if we have to guess, approximate the value, we don't know how to do that. So that's where we can use the Newton's method. What it does is, let's say the value of this square root of 5 is x is the square root of 5. Then we can take a square both sides, so it gives us x square equal 5. And if I bring 5 on the left side, it gives me x square minus 5 equals 0. So finding the value of square root of 5 is solving this equation. Let's assume that you have a function f of x, which is x square minus 5. Then solving this equation means finding the 0 of this function. So if you try to plot the graph of this quadratic function, let's say the graph of the function would look like this. So at some point there is a 2, and then there is a 3. At some point there is a 0 of that function in between 2 and 3. I don't know where, but it's in between 2 and 3. So the Newton's method says, okay, to find the value of this type of situation, to find the value of the function, to find the value of x where the function is 0 for this type of situation, you start with the point where you already know the value. So for example, here we know the value of this function when x is 2, because square root of 4 is 2, right? So when x is 2, it's a negative 1. So we know the value of this function when x is 2, the value is negative 1. Okay, so at this point we can draw a tangent line, and we can find the equation of this tangent line. So what is the slope of this tangent line? We can find the slope of this tangent line by finding the slope of the function, which is derivative, which is 2x. At this point, the slope would be the value of the derivative at 2, which is basically 2 times 2 is 4. The slope of this function is 4. So what is the equation of this tangent line? Passing through 2 comma negative 1 and slope 4. We know the formula is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1, which is y1 means negative 1, the slope is 4, x1 means positive 2, and then we can find 4x minus 8. So y equal 4x minus 9. So this is the equation of this tangent line. After finding the equation of the tangent line, we can find maybe this is not the right way to draw the tangent line, because I don't know either it's going to be beyond the 3 or before the 3. Let me just do that, and it's supposed to be passing through before 3. So I did the calculation. What is that? I need eraser here, so it's supposed to pass before 3. Okay, cool. So the tangent line is supposed to be something like this. Okay, that was a mistake. Okay, and there is a 3 here. Okay, so we know this tangent line will cross the x-axis at some point here. Okay, let's assume that the x coordinate for that point, which is if this tangent line crosses this point, the x-axis at this point, that means the value of y would be 0, which I can find by solving this equation of tangent line, which is 4x equal 9, which is basically x equal 9 over 4. That was the reason I knew that it's less than 3, which is 9 over 4. At this point, 9 over 4, I can find the value of y coordinate of this point on the curve. So this is the curve. because we know the value of the function, so if x is 9 over 4, the y can be calculated by using this function value. So at 9 over 4, the value of the function would be, if you plug the value 9 over 4 here, square, that would be 81 over 16 minus 5. 81 minus 80 divided by 16, which is 1 over 16. So the value of y would be 1 over 16. Now, we know one point on this curve, so we can draw a tangent line like we did before at this point. And then we are going to find out maybe a point close to this zero of the function. So you keep continue this thing, and then keep continue, and at some point you're going to get a point which is very, very close to this value. That is the idea. Okay, that is the idea. I'm not going to calculate manually that thing, next, but I'm going to show you what formula you can use to find out or to approximate the value of that thing. You just keep continue doing that tangent line and then find another point, and it will give you a point close to that solution of this equation. Okay, that is the idea of Newton's method. So what is Newton's method? Newton's method is start with an initial guess, and it's supposed to be always under some favorable condition. Like in our example, I start with the 2 because I knew the value of the function at 2 is at 2 it's easy to find, right? And then improves the guess on one step at a time. So let's say this is what you want to find. That's the root of this curve. You start with, let's say, initial value here. You draw the tangent line. You find another point x1, which is the point on the x-axis. Based on that point and based on the given function, you find this coordinate of the first point x1 comma y1, which is the value of the function at x1. And then you draw the tangent line at that point and find the x2, which is always on the x-axis. And using the x2 and then curve, you can find the next point. And you keep going like that. You keep going towards the value of the root of the function. That is the whole idea. If this process does not take you towards the root of the function, root means 0 of this function, then this process doesn't work for that particular situation. Okay, what happens when you keep doing like that? In general, when you try to find the slope of the tangent line at nth point, let's say nth point is xn comma the value of the function at xn, then this would be your equation of the tangent line. You remember that y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. This y1 is the value of the function at xn. x1 is xn. We're talking about nth point. And this is slope. This is actually the derivative of the given function at first point. So m is the derivative of the given function at first point. So if you keep going like that, at nth step, this is the equation of tangent line you are going to get. Okay. And for finding the next point, which is n plus 1 point, which is on the x-axis, the value of the y would be 0. So this part would be 0. If you put y equal to 0 in this situation here, then your x becomes x n plus 1. So this equation gives you the next point, which is on the x-axis, where the y value is 0. And you just copy everything else. And your x value would be x n plus 1, because that's the next point, minus xn. And if you try to solve this, this is what you are going to get. The next point can be found by using the previous x coordinate minus the value of the function at x coordinate divided by the derivative of the function at that x coordinate. So this is the formula for finding the next x coordinate using the Newton's method. Okay. So what is Newton's method? Newton's method is it's a method for finding the solution of a given equation. Solution means finding the zeros of the function. And how do you do that? To approximate the error of the function, we start with first guess, or the first point where we already know the value. Guess a first approximation to a solution of the equation, and sometime the graph might help, or sometime you already know some of the values. And then after that, use the formula for finding the next point based on that guess. This formula we derived from that process, that's called Newton's method. Okay. So now let's go back to the problem we were doing before. Like we were trying to solve square root of let me just, where is that? Okay, we're trying to solve square root of this problem. We're trying to do is square root of f of x is x squared minus 5, and the first zero we took was when x is 4, right? When x is 2. Yeah, so let's try to solve this one using this Newton's method. So Newton's method, our problem is solving x squared minus 5 equal to 0, and we're saying our first point is 2. Then what is our next point? Here, when n is 0, using this, when n is 0, because of that formula, it would be x0 minus the value of the function at x0 divided by the derivative of the function at x0. So that's the formula. So what is the x0? It's a 2. What is the value of the function at 2? So remember, the function is the left side of this equation. So the value of the function at 2 is -1. So -1 goes on the top. What is the derivative of this function? Derivative of this function is 2x. So the value of the function at derivative of this function at 2x at 2, which is x0, is 4. So we can put 4 here. So the next case would be 2 plus 1/4, which is 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9/4. And that was what we found, the first point. If you go back here, and we found the first point as a 9/4. That was our x1. Okay. And if you keep going like that, you can find out what is 9/4. 9/4, if you divide, it's a 2 point. I can use some, we already know the value of this would be in between 2 and 3. So 9/4, it's a 2.25. So that's our first point. What about the second point? What is x2? x2 is, if you use this formula, n is replaced by 1. So it would be x1 minus the value of the function at x1 and derivative of the function at x1. What is x1? x1 is 2.25 minus the value of the function at 2.25. So remember, the function is this one. So the value of the function at 2.25, I can use a calculator, which is 2.25 square minus 5, which is, by using calculator, it's square of the 2.25 minus 5, which is what is that? 0.0625. It's a 0.0625. That goes here. 0.0625. What is the derivative? We know the derivative is 2x. So the derivative at 2.25 is 2 times this value, which is 4.5, right? So 4.5. And if you do this calculation using a calculator like this, so you divide this by 4.5, and that is what you are going to get. And you subtract this value from 2.25. Remember, I subtracted opposite, that's why you see negative here. But if you subtract that value from 2.25, it would be 2.236. So this is 2.236. So from first approximation to the second approximation, 2.2 is repeated. So if you just want your answer to be right up to 1 decimal place, then answer is 2.2. But if you want to get more accurate result, then you have to keep going, you have to keep doing the very same thing again and again. Okay. That's how you use the Newton's method. I'm going to show you one last example here. Let's say this is the function you have given, x cubed minus x minus 1. And when you try to plot the graph using some graphing tool, you would be able to see that the graph would cross the x-axis. So this is the 0 of the function, but we don't know what is actual 0. So we try to use the Newton's method, and we start with like say 1 or 2. So let's say initial point is 1. What is the value of the function at 1? It's -1. So this is the Newton's formula. The initial point is 1. The value of the function at 1 is -1, and the derivative is 2, because if you try to find the derivative of this function, what do you find? The derivative of this function is 3x squared minus 1. So the value of the derivative at 1 is actually 3 minus 1, which is 2. And if you put the value of this information here, then you can calculate the value 1.5. And if you go to the next step, your next point would be this 1.5 goes as a next point, and you keep repeating the same process and keep using the formula, and then you will be able to see all these values. You can find it manually using your calculator, but nowadays if you are solving a real life problem in real life, then you don't do it manually. You always use some kind of calculator or programming. So it is not that much difficult type of calculation. If you have to do it manually, then it takes time, definitely. But look at the value here. If you just want to approximate the value up to 2 decimal place, then you can see 1.32, 1.32, 1.32, it's repeated. But if you want to do it up to 3 decimal place, then you have to keep continue until you get same value up to 3 decimal place, like 1.325, 1.324. So that's a different value. So this is not the right answer. You go to the next step, 1.324. So it's repeated. If you want to stop at 3 decimal place, then your answer would be 1.324. But if you are not happy with the 3 decimal places, then go up to 4 decimal places and match. Keep continue the process until you get the same match up to 4 decimal places. But here you see they are matched up to 5 decimal places. You see? So depending on your situation, you can keep continue, and depending on the problem you have asked, if they say, hey, need to approximate the solution up to 2 decimal place, then you just stop as long as you get the same answer up to 2 decimal place twice. Okay.